Susan, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Can you please introduce yourself and share a little bit about your role?
Hello, my name is Susan Hall, and I'm a family support consultant. And I get to partner with various agencies across the state of Florida to bring my lived experience in the child welfare system into those agencies to figure out the best way to support parents and families and the children that are going through the system. And I have multiple roles. I support a child welfare agency called Four Sister Solutions, and I am a consultant for them. And we are developing a peer support network for families so that we can really meet the needs of the families that are going through child welfare. I work with a women's transitional housing program called Helping Hands, and in there we help women rebuild their lives from the ground up. And it's an amazing experience. And I also, what is near and dear to my heart, the Pearl Project, and they help do in-home coaching for families that have been reunified in the early childhood court through the trust-based relational intervention model. And that was one of the most amazing experiences me and my family had after our post reunification. And so I love to be able to support families in that area as well. And another area near and dear to my heart is the Office of the State Courts. I work closely with them on a lot of different projects and work groups. And they've invited me, and I sit on the Dependency Court Improvement Panel and the statewide advisory council for the early childhood court. So I have lots of roles where I get to use my lived experience to impact the system.
Sounds amazing. Thank you for using your lived experience and helping so many families. I'd like to hear about which endorsement you earned and why you chose to earn endorsement.
I chose the early childhood mental health endorsement. I learned about it at a 0 to 3 conference for parents, and they just talked about how much it would complement the role of a peer support specialist. And I'm also a certified peer support specialist. And so I came and I sought to get my endorsement so I could learn and deepen my understanding of the social and emotional and relational needs of children and families. And so, as a parent with lived experience in the child welfare system, I know firsthand how that trauma and stress can shape a child's development. And so, just understanding that and grounding it in evidence based practices helps me best meet the needs of the families that I'm working with.
And if I could ask you more about how endorsement has impacted your work and working with the early childhood court teams.
Well, it has strengthened my ability to recognize the impact of trauma when I'm working with the families. And it's also helped me understand behavior through like the developmental lens. And it just really helped me focus on what happened to the family instead of what's wrong with the family. And it helped me take that work to the community partners that support those families as well. So, really going in and speaking to those community partners and saying, hey, listen, these families had things that happened to them, and we need to figure out the best way to individually support those families, right? And just reminding them and bringing that lens back to the family and how we can support them in this process.
It's a really great lens to use about what happened to you and looking at it from a trauma and individual lens. I'm so
Mhm.
glad you're using that in your advocacy. And what
Thank you.
other ways has endorsement strengthened your understanding of infant and early childhood mental health?
It really taught me and it just reinforced that children really communicate with us through their behavior, and that it's usually a need behind the behavior, right? And so those behaviors are not just a behavior that's happening because they want to, be mean or cry and cause problems. There is something going on behind that, and it really deepened my understanding to help bring that to the family's awareness, right? Parents that are coming through child welfare, they don't understand those things. They don't know those things, and I didn't know those things. And so when I pursued the endorsement and learned and deepened my understanding of those things and paired them with my roles, it just gave me such a deeper understanding of how we as a whole can support these families that are going through the child welfare system.
What advice would you give to others about endorsement?
That it has just opened the door to even more avenues that you can utilize. I have received so many additional trainings that I'm able to participate in. I have talked to you about the reflective consultation, and I look forward to being able to pursue that in the future. And it just has helped when I go into rooms with professionals. that may not always look at a lived expert as having the knowledge or the understanding to be able to comment on different situations, to show them that I have put extensive work into understanding that, and that they can trust what I have to say about the child development or the different areas of trauma that the parents and the families have been through.
What a perfect merger between your professional expertise and your lived experience. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I would just like to ask if there's anything else you wanted to add.
That I'm just really grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for all of the wonderful professionals that I have came in contact with on this journey. So I have been blessed to work with some of the most amazing professionals in the state of Florida. And I just want to remind everyone that when we support families, that there's no end to what they're capable of doing with the right love and the right support. And so I'm so grateful even for you and for the support that you guys have given us. It's been amazing for me. So thank you.